It is the fifth Sunday of Lent, 2025, and we return, as we have this entire Lent of this year, to Padre Pio. Shifting now, last week shifting from his sufferings and his own fear of his inadequacies of faith, shocking words from a saint, now to his absolute love of God. And as we discussed last week, how his love of God burns within his heart. And he continues on that same thought here for this fifth Sunday in Lent. In these moments, when Jesus speaks to my heart, more than ever, everything in the world wearies me and is a burden. I desire nothing but to love and suffer. Yes, my Father, even in the midst of so much suffering, I am happy, because it seems to me that I can feel my heart beat with Jesus' heart. Now you can imagine just how much consolation the heart receives from the almost certain knowledge that it possesses Jesus. When I ask Jesus what I have done to merit so many consolations, he smiles at me and repeats that nothing is denied such an intercessor. He asks only love as a recompense. But don't I owe this to him for gratitude? Oh, if only I could please him a little, my Father, in the same way that he makes me happy. He is so infatuated with my heart that he makes me burn completely with his divine fire, with his fire of love. What is this fire that so completely lays siege to me? My Father, if Jesus makes us so happy on earth, what will it be like in heaven? My heart wants to love. It strives to do so, but it cannot find a way. Poor thing. Perhaps it finds itself outside its center, and this is the reason why it does not know where to put itself. I desire nothing more than to expire or to love God. Death or love, since life without this love is worse than death. For me it would be unbearable than it is at this moment. I must, however, confess that I am happy even in the midst of these afflictions, because the sweetness that our good Jesus gives me to taste nearly every day is so very great. My Father, with tormented soul, I submit to living only in order not to sicken Jesus or to go against the orders of my superior. But why is it not given to me to love him with sincerity and serenity of spirit? I feel alone, and a huge emptiness that frightens me is continually present in my soul. This poor heart is unquiet and does not know where to put itself. I place it with Jesus, and it is still not satisfied. What misfortune is this? Oh, if only I could love Jesus, how happy I would be. But this comfort is taken from me too, and I cannot find the way to get to him. I am submerged in an ocean of fire. My reopened wound bleeds and bleeds. This alone would be enough to end me more than 1,000 times over. Oh my God, why do I not die? Or do you not see that for the soul that you afflict, life itself is a torment? You are cruel too, who remain deaf to the cries of those who suffer and do not comfort them. But what am I saying? Pardon me, Father, I am not myself. I do not know what I am saying. The excess of suffering that causes my ever-open wound enrages me against my will. It makes me no longer myself and drives me delirious, and I am powerless to resist. First of all, I must confess that for me it is a great disgrace not to know how to describe this volcano, which is constantly burning and which burns me. Jesus put it in this tiny heart of mine, and I can neither describe it nor quench it. The explanation is simple. I am devoured by the love of God and the love of neighbor. God is always fixed in my mind and imprinted on my heart. I never lose sight of him. I admire his beauty, his smiles, and the troubles he gives, his mercy, his vengeance, or better, the rigors of his justice. I know very well that I never had anything that could have drawn our most sweet Jesus' attention. His goodness alone has filled my soul with so many good things. He hardly ever leaves me. He follows me everywhere. He revives my life, which had been poisoned by sin. He clears for me the dense clouds which had covered my soul on account of sin. During the night, on closing my eyes, I see the veil which covers paradise lower itself down, and made joyful by this vision, I sleep with a smile of sweet beatitude on my lips, in a perfect calm, waiting for my little companion to come and wake me, so that we can sing together the morning praises to the delight of our hearts. O my Father, if what you know of my state awakens in you any thought other than that of compassion, take it, I beg you, to my beloved on my behalf as a mark of recognition and gratitude. The heavenly persons have not ceased to visit me, and to give me a foretaste of the rapture of the blessed. And if the mission of our guardian angels is so great, mine is without doubt greater, since I must try to explain other tongues competently. I have spent all of last night with the loving Jesus. I suffer much as well, but in a way which is very different from the suffering I experienced during the preceding night. This state of suffering is one that is not painful at all. My trust in God grows ever greater. I feel ever more drawn to Jesus. Without any fire nearby, I felt that I was burning interiorly. Without anything holding me, I felt myself close to Jesus and bound to him. I felt myself burnt by 1,000 flames that made me live and made me die. Thus I suffered, living and dying continuously. The child Jesus came, and I said that I wanted only to do his will. He consoled me and encouraged me regarding the sufferings of the previous night. O God, how my heart beat, how my cheeks burnt in the presence of this heavenly child. And you see in that excerpt that Padre Pio, despite being enraptured in his love for God, as he describes there, he still has that fear, a holy fear, a fear that he does not love God as he should, a fear that he is somehow placing his affections in the wrong place and not devoting himself wholly to God. Again, this is a saint saying these things of himself. This should put our complacency in perspective. One of the great treasures or fruits of Lent is that it's meant to shake us out of our complacency, at least a little, that we should be reflecting on our spiritual state and seeing if we truly live as we ought to live, if we love God as we ought to love God. We confront these things in the run-up to Lent, and they become front and center during Lent, when inevitably we stumble on our Lenten journey, when we overindulge in food at some point when we shouldn't, or when we, whatever it was that we were giving up, we stumble into. It is something to think about. Perhaps we fell on our pledges to improve our prayer life. But it's never too late. And that, I think, is part of the point of what he is saying here. His love for God, he continued to enkindle in his life, so that it burned in his heart like a flame, as he described in his previous letter. Something to think about for the remaining days of Lent. I am curious what you had to say about this, so let me know in the comments, please, and hit like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help. Sharing this on social media helps enormously, too. And as always, pray for the church. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.